Okay. Hi, Cupies. And here we are live now. So, okay. So the butterfly I crocheted over the summer, and I've been slowly adding flowers, like these little puff flowers. And I'm still working on the concept overall, but I know that it's going to be like very Morticia Adams-esque, hopefully, when I'm done. And currently the part that I'm working on is the spiderweb part. It's going to go over everything else, and they will be connected. It's not going to be like two separate layers. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, well. So I've been catching up on Girl World lately while I crochet, and something occurred to me. I was watching Jordy, and I just don't even remember what it was though. Ah, gosh, I'm so dense. The moment the camera is rolling, my brain goes completely blank. It's a problem. Like, I'm so smart until that camera's rolling. Hold on a second. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh my gosh. 13. Okay. Sorry, I can't count and think at the same time, apparently. But, like, I don't know. I don't know how to, like, express it, but I was, like, watching and catching up on the whole, like, Emily/Tommy drama and everything. Um, and I know that I've been keeping up with Mr. Snowflake's, content on the matter as well, and I don't know, like, I think I can understand, like, where she's coming from, though, 'cause, like, I don't know. I know, like, how it feels to be, like, I guess, like, burdensome or something, so, like, you'll take whoever will put up with you, as depressing as that sounds. So to an extent, I feel like I can, like, kind of relate to her, and I think that that's why I have a harder time being as harsh as other people maybe. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still not okay, some of the things that she's done in her past. However, I'm not the kind of person who sees it as okay to kind of continue, like, obsessing over the past either, because it's like, that's not I don't know, I think it's just, like, I feel like my own state is so ever changing and ever growing, or at least I'd like to think so. Like, some things do change and some things don't. Like, don't get me wrong, like, my interests for the most part and style have stayed the same for the most part. Well, not the style part, but at least at heart it stayed the same. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13, 14. I need to, like, get better at this. But yeah, look at my spider web. But, I don't know if there's, like Yeah, my style doesn't so much change, it just evolves. Each like, it's like the turning of a chapter, it's like it grows and evolves, and so it's like it never changes too drastically, but at the same time, if you were to look at me 10 years ago versus now, it would be a drastic difference. I don't know, where was I 10 years ago? I just turned 25. Okay, I lied, 9 years ago. Let's go with 9 years ago. Yeah, I think evolution is a very nice word for it when it comes to, like, how we kind of grow and evolve into better versions of ourselves, more refined versions of ourselves, I'd like to think. Hopefully, God willing. But anyway, so it's just like, I don't know, so I personally have changed and grown so much that 3 years ago, I wasn't even the same, like, person. So, it's like it's kind of like it's like holding someone accountable for something that they did so long ago that it's, like, literally not even the same person, and I'm not saying that excuses anything, but I also think that continuing to harp on it, it doesn't really help anything either, if that makes any sense. So, I actually do, watch her content directly as well as Jordy's and, Mr. Snowflake's. Um, caught up on Jordy, I'm gonna get caught up on Mr. Snowflake. Being out on the road, I haven't had time to really keep up on the girl world or YouTube dramas, and now it is high time to get back into it because it looks like it's gotten quite interesting with, the just drama of it all, and then Eugenia Cooney, like, ate food on camera or something, and it's like, "Oh, wow, okay." Like, this summer has been wild. I've never seen someone look more afraid in their life, in my life, by the way. You know, I've realized that I've done myself a great deal of disservice because the further out this spreads, the harder it's gonna be for me to keep track of the numbers and what direction it's going, frankly. But hey, it's really cute. But it's gonna like so the butterfly part is going to basically be like the bodice almost, and it's gonna have like that kind of like, I don't know, romantic sort of almost sweetheart neckline sort of aspect to it. Kinda. Like it's kinda, but also not really. Modified. We'll call it modified. Um, and what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to have the upper part of it. I don't have any navy blue yarn, but I'm sure that it would be absolutely, like, gorgeous in navy blue. But, yeah, like, I don't know, I just right, so I was going to have the web kind of go over top of it. It's like some sort of, like, pastel fairy gothic, I wanna call it, energy I'm trying to, create here. And so I'm combining elements of gothic and like fairy and cottagecore and all that good stuff. And then there's also like my typical like very most foundational aspect of my like style or how I identify and label my style, granny gothic, and that's the crocheted aspect. So it's a lot of fun, and there's going to be a lot of like Victorian and romantic inspiration in the construction of the garment. Inspiration, not actual accuracy. I wanna disclose that. I don't wanna be misleading or anything. Okay, that's exactly the number that I need it to be, actually. I literally just learned how to make this today, and I'm already tired of it. Um, I don't like patterns where I have to sit there and count the stitches and stuff. I like the ones where I can do it mindlessly without even, like, thinking or counting or paying attention. Like, granny squares are honestly one of my favorite things to kind of, like, crochet, because of the fact that I can sit there and just mindlessly keep going and keep going and keep going. I've gone too far. There we go. Ah, if I just kept going and zoned out, I'd have a lot of uneven, you know, strands of my web, so to speak, I suppose. And that would drive me up a wall, especially since what I have envisioned in my mind, I need this to look exactly like that. Sorry, a little bit hoarse today. Um, but yeah. Also, I tried something new today. I tried turkey bacon. It was definitely very interesting. Definitely better than pork, though, that I will say that for sure. I think the texture of pork is disgusting. Slimy. Like, all that fat is just slimy. Ugh. Don't mind me just being overly autistic. I have a huge, like, texture issue with food. I also discovered that, raspberries and, sushi nori is, very good together, the, seaweed. Um, delicious, like, there's a little bit of sweet, a little bit of savory, and it's, like, relatively healthy. So that felt like a pretty cool accomplishment. I come up with weird combinations like that all the time. 1, 2, 3. Okie dokie. So, oh boy, now I get to go up a so with each round of my web, I am increasing. So with each round, the further out I go, the bigger the garment becomes, the more of these, like, the further these chains have to be able to go before I can actually work them into the pattern. Okay. So now I have the distinct pleasure of having to chain 21 each time. But yep, I'm making the spider web pink because that is what is on brand for me. So then I chain up 2, and now the counting begins.
Turn the heater back on, man.
Oh,
Figure up something in the next 3 days. It's gonna be colder than this. Oh, how you doing? Good. This one come in here and
20
warm.
and 21. And my boyfriend has entered the room now. It's all good. He forgot I was streaming. I need a more comfortable, like, chair situation to sit and crochet in because I've been doing this for a few days now and my body hates me for it, but I just can't stop. If I keep my hands busy, I won't go crazy, you know? I'm still trying to break that skin picking habit that I've been failing at breaking for ages now, it feels like. 1, 2, there we go. Okay, I hate this even more than I did before. Especially since it is taking my concentration away from the stream, and I'm not even actually sure what I was talking about before or where I was going with it. I know I was discussing a lot of those like super disordered YouTube influencers and then the people who flock around them and obsess over them as well. It's just I don't know, it's like a soap opera, but like I don't know, it's not being manipulated by some writer, so you don't actually know or can't really predict what's gonna happen next, but you also can, sort of, if you understand the psychology of what's going on. And so it just feels like a real life mystery playing out in real time, I guess. What's gonna happen next? What kind of crazy I don't know. I'm being stupid. 1, 2, 3. Something that I have observed in my time of following not only these individuals, but other kinds of similar such individuals who produce similar such content on other corners of the internet, discussing similar issues with mental illnesses and self-destructive tendencies, so to speak. Um, I've actually, like, I don't know, sat back and watched enough to, like, I guess I feel like I have theories, you know, that I think might actually be an interesting or potentially helpful contribution to the psychiatric field in regards to these topics. But I could also be like completely delusional. So, but God knows I do thrive on delusion. I really do. Because genuinely, I'm my happiest self when I'm just a little bit delulu. I mean, I can see why Amberlynn Reed spends so much time in that land. It is very comforting over there. Because you feel like the real world can't come and get you. You don't have to face reality and wake up and smell how awful it is. Hi. Oh, okay. We've got so sorry. Um, let's see. The sound of turkey bacon scares me. It used to scare me too, but I decided to try it because turkey's like one of the few meats that I can digest. And Octavio said, I'm glad you're doing well. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Random question. Have you read slash watched Twilight? If so, team Jacob or Edward? Yes, and frankly, team Alice, because screw everyone else. Ooh, or Dr. Collins, because I mean, who doesn't dream of a super hot, wealthy, like, doctor vampire? But no, definitely, I would have sided more with Edward. I've always found vampires more interesting. Um, I don't much care for the outdoors or, like, all of that, so the whole wolf thing never really appealed to me much. Vampires live indoors mostly, and it's like, yes, that's more the life for me. I love the outdoors, don't get me wrong, I think nature's beautiful, I just think it's more beautiful with me not in it, because I just trip over everything, and then all of the bugs bite me and sting me, and I'm allergic to 90% of them. Are you in a van now? No, I'm in a motor home, and it's, like, from the '90s, and I've been cleaning up slowly over the course of, like, the past week that we've been, back home here in Wintersville, which is just north of Steubenville. Carlisle is certainly my favorite. Yes, Dr. Colin Carlisle, absolute unit. Like, literally beautiful. I think that another aspect that I always enjoyed about the vampires is there was always a level of androgyny and perfection about them, and that always, like, appealed to me as well. Oh, cool. A retro caravan. Yeah, I've noticed that lately, with a lot of the younger millennials and older Gen Z kids who are adults now, a lot of us are, like, living in vehicles essentially converted into little homes. You painted it black. I would have painted it pink, but that's just me. I have a really crappy, Chevy S10 that I purchased for my brother for $800, which is part of why I went out to the carnival this summer to earn that money to buy it. And I'm planning on sanding it down and painting it like baby pink or something because I think it would look very pretty and I will never lose it in a parking lot. How many black trucks do you see in a parking lot? Like a billion. And the navy blue ones, they kind of look black too. So any dark colored truck is all going to look the same to my blind self. I'm sorry that you don't like your neighbors. I wish you luck on buying a new one and like or buying one again and like living in it and all that. I hope that it goes well. Um, I must admit, the whole like no plumbing thing is kind of like really crappy. Like, don't get me wrong, there's like plumbing, but there also isn't at the same time. Uh, I'm really thirsty. But yeah, like I think like there's a lot of difficulties when it comes to living in a motor home or a converted vehicle that has been repurposed into a home or what have you. And I think that the like fact that like plumbing is such a tricky thing, you gotta have water hookups. Yeah, it does have a kitchen, but I don't have running water because we're not hooked up to water right now. And that's when things get kind of sucky because you use a lot of bottled water and you eat a lot of packaged food living like this too because you don't have the most access like to like I said to running water. So you can't really wash dishes as easily, so you use a lot of like disposable dishes. We use those paper compostable plates that are like really eco-friendly and everything. But yeah, so it's just like that it does have its drawbacks, but like on the upside, I can essentially use the space how I like as long as, the boyfriend is okay with it. Um, and everything like that. Like I'm able to like sit here and smoke if I really wanted to. Bottled water's better for real. You live in a apartment in Australia. It's sunny today. I can't I eat processed food all the time. Yeah, I just there are things that I miss being able to cook. Like one of my favorite foods is my sweet potato pancakes. I think I made a video about that earlier this year. Oh my God, thank you so much. Yeah, but hold on. But my sweet potato pancakes are like one of my favorite things, and that is not processed at all. There is literally just sweet potatoes and eggs fried on a skillet. Very simple, two ingredients. And sometimes when I feel like a little treat, I sprinkle some Splenda on top. Much better. Sorry if that like sounds really loud. Fried potato cakes? Do you mean like latkes? Latkes are a fried like yeah. So you know what those are then. But yeah, I like them too. I make them every year around Hanukkah. I even came up with a recipe for like a so like the regular latkes are savory, but I have come up with an idea for a recipe that's more on the sweeter side, but I'm not sure how successful it would be. Um, due to the fact that it would behave differently. I have only played out the idea in my head. I haven't actually created it, so I don't actually know if it would actually be viable. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. But yep. I actually really am beginning to hate doing this. It's just kind of tedious making bunches of chains and bunches of chains when you have to count. If I didn't have to count, I wouldn't mind it as much, but I hate counting so much because it takes all of my focus away from like the stream and you guys and all that. But yeah, oh my gosh. So this is going to be the front panel of it. We're starting to get somewhere with it. It's still got to get even bigger. And then I'm going to have to modify it and figure out how to make it to where because I want the shape to have like a pointed aspect to it at like the ends and everything. Like it's gonna have like really long flared sleeves because, like I said, we're going with something that has a bit of inspiration that is drawn from like Morticia Adams and other icons. Um, I don't think that I would want to sell any of my crochet work online because then that creates a lot of pressure. And then there's the anxiety of what if it's not good enough because I am actually incredibly hard on myself. Um, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm scared, like, oh no, what if it snags on something and then it unravels and then they decide that they hate me and that my product is bad and then they decide to leave me really ugly reviews and then everyone takes it to heart and then there's like a witch hunt or something. I don't know. I'm overthinking. But it also like would take a lot of energy and time that I don't frankly have a whole lot of. When I'm doing it just for myself, there's no pressure and therefore there's no anxiety. I feel like if I did it for money, it would be hard to actually pick up my crochet hook and actually do it, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, I think I might be hanging out with a few friends this week and all that. Still kind of looking forward to that apartment with my mom because then it means that I won't have to sit here freezing all the time. Um, all that. Nope, I'm tired. Actually, I'm gonna do something I can do on autopilot for a moment. Take a break from the web. Work on some more flowers. Here it is. These I can do without even, like, having to think too much, so that's why I'm gonna do that. I think the web is gonna be the most tedious and most time-consuming part, and I thought the flowers was gonna be at first, but I was so wrong. Last night, I had a dream that I drove all the way to the Robinson Mall over it's in the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is a place that I rather frequently visit, actually. Oh, yes, I remember. We're gonna do 12 half double crochets. Had to switch gears for a second in my head. Let me make sure. Okay. Let's see, you said, yeah, same. I'm gonna sell handmade creams soon. I have my own brands. Still gets annoying worrying about it. And then you asked, what do you use to wash your hair? I use Shea Moisture brand restoring shampoo and conditioner. Uh, I don't have it in the camper here with me. I actually have it. So the camper kind of exists here on the grounds where our the workshop for um the carnival is, where we do the maintenance every year for on the rides and stuff, and sometimes they get sent back there early if necessary. And during the winter, that's basically what some select employees get to do. I'm not one of those people, but my boyfriend is. So every day he wakes up and then walks like a few yards over to work. But essentially there is a shower in there, and that's where I shower, and there's the whole like locker room situation with the shower. So I just store my shampoos and stuff. Otherwise, I would show you the bottles, but I store them in that locker in the building, and the building's locked up right now because it is closed. Because it is like 8 p.m. or something, at least where I'm at. I'm not sure what time it is for anyone else who's watching. It's not that I'm still at the carnival, it's more that the carnival has ended. It's just at the end of the season, this is where certain people go. We just live on the grounds of the actual, like, workshop and where the rides are stored for the winter and stuff, so there's, like, this area, where the rides are all stored, and then there's also, like, the workshop building where they fix and work on maintenance and stuff. Oh, and also they build rides. Forgot to mention that, and sell them. Sorry, someone decided to come in and yeah, it's convenient. Yeah, especially when you're not the person who's stuck working. It's very early mornings and it's just cold and miserable and it's just like, "Eh, no thanks." But yeah, so it's not that I'm at the carnival still. I guess this motorhome is my home too. So I'm just like living on the grounds where the carnival like retires for the winter, I guess. I guess I'm hibernating here with the rides. We're hibernating for the winter. Me and all these rides are. Mhm. Oh, also the other day when I was showing off my rock and crystal collection, I forgot about my pipe. I bought it at the carnival. At one of these last fairgrounds we were at. Coshocton, was it? I didn't vlog much of Coshocton, admittedly. My favorite music. I'm a huge Swiftie. Um, but not like in the toxic way, I hope. Like I don't get all up in her business or anything. You own a rock from Mars? That's kind of dope. Now there's another rock on my wish list. I need to get a rock from Mars. But let's see. I'm also really into. For real, you worked with Taylor? Nah. Uh, for real? Huh. What did you do specifically? It's kind of cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, half of my room is like a Swifty shrine, and then the other half is like a shrine to dolls in Sanrio, man. Oh, you're a musician on Spotify. Okay. How long you been doing that for? I'm sorry, suddenly you became way more interesting than I am. I don't know how to play any music yet. Yeah, yeah. No, her music is iconic. I loved her back when she was country too, though. I just followed her over to pop when she shifted. I when I was like 7 years old, I was on the school bus. I was in first grade, and I was on the way to school, and I remember hearing from her debut album, "Teardrops on My Guitar," and I was in love ever since. Been in the industry for 30 something years. That's kind of impressive. I'm not gonna lie, my dream has always been to make music. I just also don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Um, I don't know, I have respect for all of Taylor's, like, eras and every version of her. I have a different love for, because it's just like it's been interesting watching her grow in real time, and it's been interesting growing with her as well. And it's just I don't know, it's been very nice. Like, it makes me feel somehow more connected to her. And I know that's like a parasocial relationship, but who cares? Am I not sitting here forming that now? Yeah, she does seem really nice. Um, who knows? Maybe one of these days y- I would hope so. I'm definitely, I'm very authentic and loyal as a person. Um, and I work really hard to be as decent as possible because I don't know, I don't want to hate myself, I guess, if that makes any sense. But I'm also really into like Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, uh, Chappelle Rowan. Um, I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm sure she would. Honestly, she inspired me to like, delusionally hold on to my dream my whole life, even though my dad tried to kill it dead. I even actually in Coshocton. Yeah, she is very pretty. But I don't know, it's just something about her music style I really like. Like, there's a little bit of a grittiness to it, but at the same time, like, not over the top. Like, it's very subtle, and I kind of can appreciate that. But, yeah, like, in our last location before we got to come home, that was Coshocton, Ohio, and I actually won a guitar while I was there. Actually, I think that I would actually do really well singing country. I kind of wanna Okay, so this is gonna sound insane. I kinda wanna take aspects of country with gothic themes and kind of combine them, if that makes any sense. Like, those super, like, romantic themes and, like, darker themes that gothic poetry kind of brought about, those are the kind of vibes that I wanna bring in, but with a country kind of overall tone and cool. That's actually kinda dope. Um, but yeah, it's like, I know that I wouldn't be considered, anything I would never ever be considered any sort of, like, traditional or even mainstream brand of goth, but I do identify myself as such. I listen to a lot of gothic music. I'm very fond particularly, I'm quite fond of, a lot of dark wave gothic music. I like a lot of the, older gothic music as well, I'm really fond of, like, The Cure, for instance, like, iconic. There are a few others, but I'm drawing a blank right now. Um, but I would like to think that I could be an artist potentially someday. Um, m yeah, that's fair. I don't think I've ever heard of that, artist, Shakespeare's sister. But it does sound like it that does sound very interesting. I like, as a concept alone, it just seems like an interesting concept. Song called "Stay With Me." I'll have to look at that later. Um, right, I never got to finish telling the story of how okay, so I won this pink acoustic guitar in Coshocton, and now I just need to figure out how to play this darn thing. I don't do very good learning how to play instruments from YouTube videos, it seems, and I don't quite know how to read, like, instrumental music exactly. And I haven't had to read vocal music since ninth grade, so if I were to ever be, a musician of any sort, my karaoke sessions were fun. Well, thank you, thank you. They were probably dreadfully embarrassing, frankly, and I should not have uploaded them, but I have no sense of shame or embarrassment, so I did anyway. Uh, but, I mean, like, if I could learn how to do music and honestly get my vocals more to where I'd like them to be, um, I think that I would probably give it a try. I mean, I've got a whole journal here for writing song ideas, like lyrics at least, and I have an amazing capacity for, like, keeping track of, like, what this is supposed to sound like in my head, and I'm sure that if I could figure out some fundamental like, figure out some fundamental things that I could probably actually, by ear, figure out how to create those songs exactly as they sound in my head. Hold on a second. "Oh no, was fun. You have potential to be a huge star. I think you're interesting." Well, thank you. Um, it's always the interesting people. They get bullied in real life, but when they're on the internet and in the public eye, they're adored for some reason. And it's very, very strange because, like, in real life, I'm a total loser. Like, for real. I'm awkward and weird and no one really likes me. But online, I've got, like, a couple of, like, fans who continuously say very nice and supportive things, and I'm very appreciative of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 11. Oh no. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I don't watch fake people. I came across your video somehow. You just appeared. Yeah, I think I appeared in a lot of people's, like, algorithm randomly because I just, like, kept, like, uploading, and I kept uploading a bunch of really broad, like, things, like, I talk a lot about a lot of random crazy topics on this channel, and I feel like I don't know, I feel like that has allowed me to reach a broader audience. 'Cause I mean, I have a good little handful of subscribers and such. Not as many continuous viewers and even less commenters and everything, but it's not bad. You should be like an actor in movies. Yeah, I actually God. So, the crazy thing is I was actually incredibly close to doing stuff like that, like acting and modeling and stuff. And I knew that if I could get into that world, that could actually help me segue into the music industry, which is where I want to be ultimately. And I also really love, like, fashion, and I love, like, cinematic art as well. I'm very fond of these things. Yeah, and the thing is, I have to change my strategy now, you know? So I've been slowly trying to build a platform here on the internet. I'm most active on YouTube, mostly because its algorithm and everything like that is easier for me to understand. Um, TikTok's way too wishy-washy and way too fast-moving. Uh, I I was thinking about doing some covers of some songs that I really like, but I'd have to learn how to, like, do the instrumental part, you know, to do a cover. Who's Nicole Kidman? Like, would I know her from something? I don't know a lot of famous people by name, unfortunately. Oh, yeah. If Taylor watched my YouTube videos, I think I would actually, like, die. Like, I would stop breathing right then and there. I would be oh god. Yeah, I know she's a famous actress. I know her name, I just can't put a face to it. Um, that I guess that's what I'm, like, trying to say. Well, tell her not to judge if she does, watch. But I don't know, like, there are a few songs that I'd like to, like, do covers of. Um, I feel like I have to get my vocals back to where I, like back to a point where they're, like, more used to doing more variance in range. Because I know that I tend to stick to a lower register anymore, and it's my own fault, but that's not the point. Um, but I'm trying to get at least a little bit more into a middle range area. I really want my singing voice to kind of come across androgynous enough that it could be relatable from any kind of aspect, I suppose, if that makes any sense. I want to see you do some singing videos, please. Um, maybe in the future. Ah, golly, I don't even know where I would start or what I would sing. Like, I have a list of songs I want to do covers of, but like at the same time, I'm paralyzed by the entire idea. Let me see. No. With who? You're reading over my shoulder. Oh, wait. You're half blind and the ink is pink. Never mind. Who the heck is Xtina? Or am I not understanding something correctly? Oh, it's Christina Aguilera. Okay. Is she going by a different name now or something? I know that's like the in vogue thing to do right now. Get a really cool, like, stage name or something. Or rebrand. Right. I think I probably would too, but, like, at the same time, I'm also, like, incredibly scared of the entire idea. Uh, and I think I just get too paralyzed by the idea of living up to, like, the original singers of songs, so then I'm paralyzed by the idea of, like, actually doing any kind of covers, and then I can't do any of my original stuff because it's all cringe. Yeah, I actually recognized you. You've changed your, username here a few times I've noticed, but, like, I've recognized you regardless throughout all of that. I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah." It's like, "Oh, okay." Like, every time you pop up in my notifications, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I know who this is." But yeah, I know, I understand what you mean. I mean, sometimes rebranding is necessary, especially when you're looking to revitalize your career or something. If I was to sing my own stuff, it would suck because it's not even complete yet. All I have are little concepts. Um, oh my God, really? Ugh. The toenails right here. Yeah, I closed an account. I do comedy too. Gotcha. Wow. Time for you to get a watch. People get bored quickly these days. Yeah, that's true. It's TikTok's fault. Shortened our attention span. You want to hear, but I'm not ready to share. All I have are just, like, lyric concepts. I don't even have, like, the actual construction of the song quite figured out yet. I don't even have any songs complete yet. I get, like, 1,000 ideas a day, but I never actually, like, finish them out. I'm terrible. I'm sure that if I, like, actually knew what I was doing, though, I probably could. But, yeah, like, I started this channel, back when, I knew that I was facing an opportunity to, uh go into, like, modeling and acting and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, I was, like, really close, breathing down the neck of my dream, and then yoink, ripped away, just like everything else. So now I've gotta struggle and fight another way to it, because I sure as hell ain't giving up. Life is short, mine might be shorter than some. I may as well reach out and take my dreams by the throat and tell them who's boss. Live life by my terms. Just wanna make music, make a difference. I think your channel's cool, you're famous now anyway on here. I would hardly call myself famous, but I appreciate the sentiment. I'm working on it. Like I said, I understand the algorithm enough. I know that I just gotta keep feeding content into YouTube and just keep trying to keep it interesting and giving variety. Um, I know that, like, a lot of what my audience wants is fashion content, which is kinda hard right now in this cramped little space, and, there's also, like, a lot of interest in, like, the musical aspect as well, at least from what I've understood, because you're not the only person who's expressed interest in that kinda stuff, and, like, my friends my whole life has have always been like, "Oh, you should totally, like, make music and stuff," and it's just like, "Mm, I don't know." Like, I was always just too scared, honestly, and now it's just like, what's there to be afraid of? I just still need to work some things out, though, because I can't make myself a joke. You are famous. I'm in Australia watching you, so yeah, I mean, that's fair. I have a few Australian friends, actually. I haven't talked to them since high school, though. Hope they're well. I know back in high school, their mental health wasn't very great. I hope that's improved for them. I appreciate that, but at the same time, you are also a stranger on the internet. I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from with that. Like, it's easy for one to want to be a little bit skeptical when it comes to, like, the internet, and especially when, like, a situation seems way too good to be true, it's like, I don't know." I just I don't know. Maybe I'm a coward. One could accuse me of that. I'm not afraid of anything, but I'm still a coward. Make that make sense. Hmm. I suppose sometimes, though, when I put life into really sharp and brutal, kind of depressing perspective, though, everything becomes a lot less scary. I will say that. Because it's like, I don't know, like I find myself thinking often, okay, so what if something happens and I'm gone in 2 years? Will I be satisfied with where I've gone in life? What would I want to have accomplished? And when I ask myself that question, it kind of puts things into a much sharper perspective for me, much sharper focus. Yeah. I'll probably like work my way up to like uploading like, I don't know, covers and stuff on here as soon as I find some that like I feel confident enough to do. Pardon me. I really need to my biggest thing is I need to get out of my own way and get out of my own head and just do, you know? Live a little bit more fearlessly, so to speak. Um, what do you mean what do you mean about the hair coloring? Do you mean, like, about the idea of, like, dyeing my hair or something? Or, like, other people doing it? You don't get to have input. Might just do it to spite you now. It's my hair, I'll do what I want with it. But I wouldn't dye my hair for people on the internet, so you don't need to feel so threatened. Yeah, so I used to dye my hair a lot, actually. I actually, at one point, the craziest way that I've ever had my hair, I had a foot tall, maybe even taller, honestly, mohawk that was rainbow, and I dyed it, cut it, and styled it all myself. Wore it to Pride. Um, in Pittsburgh, in fact. God, I haven't been to Pittsburgh and Pride in forever. I miss it. Um, and it just kind of fried my hair so bad that I'm still struggling to get my hair to recover. So I don't really dye my hair anymore. Now I plan on kind of using wigs instead if I want to do crazy hair colors and stuff. And I think the craziest I would probably go is like maybe some pink. I might get like a few other like basic hair color wigs too, maybe. I don't know. But I don't think I plan on dyeing my hair. I don't want to have to restart the hair healing journey, especially since we're not even done healing, I guess. Would you believe me if I told you that the summer before last I had a total buzz cut to the scalp? What was I like in high school? Oh God. I was a loser. Um, so back then I was presenting more masculine, so to speak, and I was a bit of a loner. All of my friends hated me and only kind of put up with me, and they straight up admitted to my face that the only reason they did so was because they were nervous I would like kill myself or something, and then they didn't want that guilt on their shoulders or something. And it's like, great, that's really, really depressing. Um, I honestly don't know why I hung around them so much. I think it was just because I was so lonely and I needed people. But for the most part, though, I didn't really do anything interesting in high school. I kind of just like laid in bed, depressed all the time, and like occasionally went to school and went to soccer, and that was about it. And then my health started failing, and then my mental health kind of went even worse from there, and my isolation only grew. So in high school, I was the epitome of a loser. Just as much as I am now, actually. Except I'm a lot more laid back and a lot less pretentious now. I don't know what it is about being a teenager, but you feel like you're right about everything and everyone else is wrong and dumb. And oh my God, how stupid a way to think. But yeah, a lot of times in school, I like had peers who would like shove me and spit on me. They would throw garbage at me, spit food out on me, uh throw like random like partially eaten, soppy, melted candy off the floor of the bus at me. It was just disgusting, and it was kids of all ages, like, I'd be on the school bus, and there'd be kids of all ages on there because, like, I don't know, funding was poor or something. Um, so you got there was the little kids doing that, and then there was also, like, the bigger kids doing that, and it was just like, "Great, what am I gonna do?" Because at the end of the day, the way everything was is the odds were stacked against me, and there was no way I could really stand up for myself or defend myself against this situation because if I did so, I would get in trouble. And then if I got in trouble in such a way, my father would not take my side, regardless of how bad the bullying was. He would have taken their side and accused me of being a freak who asked for the bullying. And therefore, any bullying I got was my fault. And yeah, what music was you listening to tonight? I actually haven't been listening to any music. I've been listening to Oh Lordy, It's Jordy update with updates on Amberlyn Reed. And then your other message said, "Yeah, I get that too. In school, I left early." Yeah, school's brutal. It's just a bunch of miserable kids shoved into a prison together that's underfunded and poorly staffed with like really, really incompetent people. Because, because of the fact that my dad was not on my side, therefore none of the school staff was on my side. So any time there was any kind of dispute where I was being bullied, I was somehow always found in the wrong because my dad was not on my side and actively encouraged my alienation and ridicule within the school system. And yeah, and children don't get rights. Uh to have any kind of control over their life in such a situation. And so it's kind of crappy. Um, so yeah, school was some of the miserable years of my life, but if I could redo them, I would go in there and I'd be a total savage and be the coolest bitch there. But then, if I would have done that, I probably would have bottomed out and completely crashed and burned and never would have actually amounted to anything in life. Or I could have been one of those girls who learned and grew and became decent people after high school, surprisingly, even though they were horrible in school, and who actually get a respectable life. Oh, you have fans on here, so you have the last laugh. Yeah, that's honestly, that is true. That is something that I always did, like, kind of console myself with the idea of, and I think that that's, like, what helped me survive a lot of the worst of it, 'cause, like, it wasn't even that I was just getting bullied at school, but I was also being bullied in my own home, and so it's just, like, there was no real escaping it, and anytime my dark thoughts got dark and I wanted to just, like, end it all or whatever, as dramatic as that sounds, like, yeah, I recognize the dramatic the drama of such a statement, but anytime those kind of thoughts would occur to me, I'd be like, "No, because I gotta live long enough to spite these people whenever I'm successful, and then they're gonna be, like, really sorry." And I know that's, like, really stupid, but truthfully, I don't actually care anything of what they think. It's actually not them I want to be sorry, I want to prove it to myself, and I think that realizing that has been kind of, I don't know, helpful. I don't know what time it is. My boyfriend wants me to, wrap this up. Yeah, my dad took the bully side too. I went through the same. I'm sorry that you experienced that as well. Fathers suck, in my experience. None of my friends have a healthy relationship with their father. I don't have a healthy relationship with my father. I don't know if it's the demographic or the area or what, but from my experience, fathers suck. But I'm gonna have to wrap up now. Because my boyfriend's like, "Hey, I need to go to bed," and I'm kind of sitting in the bedroom talking very loudly right next to him. He has to get up early for work, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Um, Thanks for tuning in for the live stream. Thanks to all of you guys who have commented and everything like that. I love y'all. Have a great night and or day, or I don't know what time of day it is for everyone, but have a good one, whatever time of day it is. See you in the next one. Bye. Has made me who I am as an artist now, though. Yeah, no, that's fair. But yeah, have a good one, y'all.